Sup, motherfuckers? It's time for a fucking hitter review since this new Roadhouse just came out. This is a remake of a Patrick Swayze movie from the 80s called Roadhouse. And it was about this bouncer who fucking, he's at a bar, he's getting some good shit in. He's fucking ripping people's throats out. He does like 3 or 4 throats and Terry Funk's in it. And they've been trying to remake it for like a decade. And it was originally going to be, the guy who made Fast and Furious 1 who was going to make it, since he didn't make, Fast and Furious 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11. But then he didn't, and then it was going to be directed by the guy who directed The Notebook, and that's not a joke. That was who's going to direct it, The Notebook guy. And Rondo was going to be Jake Gyllenhaal, but he didn't make it because if they made it, you'd have already seen it. But now they made it, and it's being directed by Jeff Bezos. So in order to determine whether this movie is a hitter or wolf tickets, we're gonna have to go through the whole fucking the whole movie. So if you don't want to literally know everything that happens in this fucking movie, then you should probably go watch some other shit. Punk ass bitch. I know you're watching this, George. All right, so let's get started on this hitter review. All right, so we open at some fucking Fight Club bar where there's an underground one-night illegal cash tournament going on because, those fucking exist. And somehow fucking Post Malone's a hitter and he's just fucking beating the shit out of everybody instead of singing or whatever the fuck he does. And there's like a referee for some reason because, fucking Chris Tognoni's gonna fucking take a weekend off to make sure a fucking fight at a bar where there's a concrete floor is legit or whatever. Anyway, fucking Bubble Boy shows up and just immediately gets to go next for some reason. He doesn't even fucking sign up or anything, but Post Malone's like, that motherfucker's on steroids. I know that. I've been knowing that, and I'm not fighting this motherfucker. And I hope you fucking got your fill of Post Malone because that's the last time this motherfucker's in the movie. This motherfucker got his own poster, and he's literally in the movie. That's it. That's the whole fucking, 45 seconds. So apparently because Post Malone's a punk-ass bitch who's not hurt but scared, that means that fucking Donnie Darko gets all the money from the night's tournament without even having to fight. Like, what the fuck? So he's like going to his car, and then some fucking MMA Twitter handicapper stabs him because he put 500 on Post Malone like a fucking dumbass, and Jake Gyllenhaal's like, "Oh, we doing stabbing shit now?" And he just lets the guy go, and the guy just leaves after attempted murder. So fucking October Sky's just chilling by his car, taking care of a massive stab wound, just like shit in his trunk instead of going to a hospital. When this lady comes up to him and is like, "Hey, I own a fucking Roadhouse, and I got a problem because all these hitters keep showing up, and I need a fucking bigger hitter to keep them in line. And I know I didn't watch you punch literally anybody tonight, and now that I've come to your car, you have a giant stab wound for some reason, but I really think you're the guy for the job." And Patrick Swayze's like, "Nah, I'm good, homie. I'm just gonna live in my car with this untreated stab wound and hope I don't die instead of, taking this fucking job offer." Then he randomly parks his car on a train track as a train is coming so he can fucking die. But at the last second, he decides he'd rather live in his car with an untreated stab wound. So he fucking tries to pull off, but he doesn't do it in time. And so the fucking train fucks his car shit up. So now he doesn't have a home. So he just abandons it and gets on a bus with an untreated stab wound to accept that job as a Roadhouse hitter. But the lady didn't tell him where it was besides a fake island town in Florida called Glass Key. So he gets off the bus and has no fucking clue where to go, even though it's just a small island. Luckily, a local bookstore owner and his daughter are like, "Oh yeah, this is just a small island, so it's like right down the fucking road, So then the son from City Slickers goes over to the Roadhouse down the street from the bookstore, and he's fucking looking around when Matt Riddle is like, "Hey, I know you, homie. You're fucking Elwood Dalton," which is not a real person, so it doesn't mean shit to us, the audience. But it turns out this motherfucker used to fight in the UFC, and so throughout the movie, a bunch of times we get these flashbacks of UFC 285, where apparently he fucking killed somebody or kept fighting this motherfucker who was already knocked out, and so he either got kicked out of the UFC or fucking thrown in jail. I don't know, they literally never talk about it, other than that some bad shit went down, and I could show you some of the sequence, but his face looks hilarious here, so I'm just gonna show you that anytime I talk about it. Anyway, so disgraced UFC fighter Brokeback Mountain is just chilling at the bar all night, watching Matt Riddle throw out a bunch of fucking randos who are fighting each other, when the least intimidating biker gang of all time shows up at the Roadhouse, and their leader, this Too Fast, Too Furious looking motherfucker, starts knocking over beer bottles, and he's breaking pool sticks in half, which is the worst thing you can do to any bar, of course. So Mysterio's like, "Hey homie, you fucking caused at least $30 of damage in your pool stick breaking rampage, so I'm gonna fuck your shit up, what's up?" So they go outside and he literally Stockton slaps the whole biker gang, and then he beats the fuck out of them, and then he tells Tokyo Drift he wants to just call it a draw, but he doesn't know what a draw is because apparently he's not from fucking Earth, so he just dumps this motherfucker on the concrete on his head, but he doesn't die, and since they all need medical attention, he drives them all to the hospital because fucking ambulances and cops don't exist. The doctor, when he gets there, is like, "Hey, thanks for the patients. You're a piece of shit for beating people up, but also I'm attracted to you and you're also bleeding." And he's like, "Oh, that's just the untreated stab wound I've had for several days now that I'm probably gonna fucking die from due to complications related to it soon." So she's like, "Nah, homie, let me treat that wound because you're a fucking dumbass, but I'm also attracted to you." So Nightcrawler makes it back to the Roadhouse where the owner pays him in cash, which I'm assuming he's not gonna declare to the IRS because fighters don't pay taxes. Then he's all like, "My house got hit by a train, and I was wondering if I could live in this dilapidated boat nearby." And she's like, "Oh yeah, actually, I own that boat, so go for it." So fucking Ghost hangs out on the boat having PTSD over killing somebody in the the UFC until the next day when he decides to head to the bookstore before the Roadhouse opens to use their computer for some reason. That's when the shitty biker gang shows up to cause problems, but they see End of Watch come out and decide to leave before they get their dicks kicked in again. So then he's like, hey, bookstore girl, where's your dad? And she's like, oh, he's working his second job. And then he's like, hey, where's your mom? And she's like, oh, she died recently. So that's all, you know, it's real fun stuff. Then we're on a yacht somewhere in the ocean where we meet this dumbass named Brant. He's a fucking movie's villain and he's rich as fuck because his dad, who's in jail, and he hired the shitty biker gang to try to force the lady who owns the Roadhouse to sell by breaking her pool sticks because he wants to build whatever the fuck this is and do evil shit and stuff, but it doesn't literally matter at all, so just fucking forget everything I just said to you. Other than that, he wants to fucking take the Roadhouse. Then for like the next 20 minutes, there's literally no plot. Source Code teaches Matt Riddle how to beat people up. He recruits another dude to help Matt Riddle beat people up. He does planks on his boat. He has UFC PTSD. He runs into the doctor again while getting lunch, and she's like, I'm attracted to you. Then one night when he's walking home to his boat, the leader of the biker gang hits Jake Gyllenhaal with his girlfriend's truck, and then he hops out and lets it fall into the ocean. But Dalton's completely fine, not in any way hurt. He's just wet, so he just walks back to his boat. But Fast and Furious decided to wait for him on the boat with a shotgun just in case he was completely fine and not in any way hurt, just wet. But he's a fucking dumbass and decided to talk to Jarhead instead of shooting him the second he saw him. So fucking Dalton was able to get the shotgun away from him, and then he throws his stupid ass off the boat. Then he's fucking violently eaten to death by a crocodile. Bet you didn't see that coming, motherfuckers. But they actually did foreshadow it earlier. I just decided not to fucking tell you because I thought it was funny. Anyway, so the next day, Point Break is back to looking at computers at the bookstore again before work. Then in the parking lot, this fucking nerd is like, hey, the villain of this movie is the one who's been trying to fucking have you killed or whatever, and he wants to meet you, so come with me or I'll shoot you. Even though he fucking wants to meet you, so like, why would I shoot you? And then Dirty Dancing's like, well, I'll just break your fingers, and then if the villain of the movie wants to talk to me, he knows where I am because he keeps trying to kill me and shit, and this is a very small island, so... Anyway, that's when this movie takes a huge turn, because it's at this point that we just start randomly following Conor McGregor in real life, going about his day-to-day, and they just like insert it into the film for some reason. So the next shot is Conor as he's walking around an Italian market completely naked, and then he mugs a guy to take his jacket, and then he sets the whole market on fire. That's not even acting. This is, it's like literally, they just filmed Conor on like a Tuesday. So then like back in the movie, the doctor shows up to Jake Gyllenhaal's boat on her own boat, and she's like, hey, I'm attracted to you. And also my dad's the sheriff of the county. Do you want to go make out on a sandbar? So they fucking make out on a sandbar. Then we get more footage of Conor's real life where he's recklessly driving a supercar down the highway in Florida. And then the shitty biker gang whose leader got eaten by a crocodile is chilling at the villain's crib when real life Conor McGregor shows up and just starts eating their food completely unannounced after he pushed their fucking bikes over. Then the fucking main bad guy shows up at his crib and is like, real life Conor McGregor, what the fuck are you doing here, homie? And Conor's like, I'm gonna go fucking kill Jake Gyllenhaal. So back at Dalton's boat after the date with the doctor, the police show up and they're like, you fucking killed a guy with a crocodile, so you're fucking going to jail. But it was a fucking trick to get him in the car because the sheriff is the bad guy from Desperado and he's fucking corrupt. So Red Dawn's like, fuck you, homie. So the sheriff's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna fucking shoot you then. And that's when his daughter shows up, the doctor, and she's like, I'm attracted to him. And then she stalks and slaps her dad, and then they let him fucking leave for some reason. Then the bad guy's gang is like, hey, let's go burn that bookstore to the ground with that child inside, since Dalton likes using the computer in there. And then suddenly it's just like that evening, and the main bad guy is finally, he just goes to the fucking Roadhouse, and he's like, hey, day after tomorrow, you remember when you did something horrible in the UFC that we never fully explained? And that's the only fucking reason he came for some reason. But he goes outside, and real life Conor McGregor just happens to be hanging out at the bar, and he's like, oh, hey, I was just about to go in there and fucking kill Jake Gyllenhaal and burn this place to the ground. So real life Conor McGregor goes in and starts harassing people about Proper 12, but Dalton's just like, actually, instead of doing the thing I was hired to do, I'm just gonna sit here and fucking sip some tea for some reason. So then real life Conor McGregor attacks the band with a golf club because he doesn't like the song they're playing. They just starts beating the shit out of anyone in the bar who's within reach. Meanwhile, fucking Dalton's just sitting there fucking drinking his shit still. Finally, after a full-scale fucking riot breaks out, Swayze's seen enough and he goes to confront real life Conor McGregor, who's just fucking raging all over the place. The two beat the fuck out of each other all over the bar, and then Conor ends the fight with a power double out the door because he's a fucking, you know, he's a wrestler now. Conor then has a brief moment of sobriety, and he's like, you know, we probably both have severe brain damage from all the fucking head trauma, and so he just like fucking lets him live. So then Jake Gyllenhaal walks away and is like, you know what, fuck this, I'm just gonna go be homeless somewhere else. I'm fucking tired of getting my dick kicked in over a fucking property dispute that the bad guys could probably have just fucking easily settled by using their wealth to influence local politicians to force eminent domain, instead of hiring people to murder a bouncer unsuccessfully 18 fucking times. But when Dalton gets to the bus stop to go be homeless somewhere else, he finds out that the bikers burned down the bookstore, and he's like, what the fuck, homie? I fucking love using that computer, and And you know, that kid was cool, so I guess I'm just gonna have to fucking kill everybody and fucking go be homeless somewhere else later, you know, if I survive this shit. So he goes back to the bad guy's crib and he does the fucking roadhouse throat kill to the guy who burned down the bookstore, but he doesn't rip it out. He just fucking crushes the guy's shit so he can't fucking breathe and he falls in the pool and dies. Then one of the bikers who wasn't a hitter is like, hey, the bad guy of this movie is fucking having a meeting with the corrupt cops tomorrow and they're gonna exchange some money, you know, if you want to go fuck their shit up or whatever. So then like a fucking weirdo serial killer, Jake Gyllenhaal throws the dude he killed into his freezer on his boat and then just goes to fucking bed. And then in the morning he goes to where the bad guy was dropping the money off to the corrupt cop and he fucking knocks the cop out, jacks his shit, fucking ghosts his boat, and then drags the dead guy from the night before out to the beach and shoots him with the cop's gun. So it looks like that he killed him, and since he's frozen, it'll look like the kill was more recent. You know, fucking shit you learn being a UFC fighter. So then back at Patrick Swayze's boathouse, the bad guy from Desperado, who is the corrupt sheriff and the dad of the doctor who finds Dalton attractive, is like, hey, my deputy that you framed for murder this morning, he said you stole the bad guy's money, and he fucking wants that shit back, and he fucking kidnapped my daughter, so I need you to, like, you know, go fucking to the boat and, like, help me fuck their shit up. And fucking Jake Gyllenhaal's like, all right, well, I think you're setting me up, but none of these motherfuckers are hitters anyway, so let's go finish this movie on the fucking bad guy's yacht. Meanwhile, real life Conor McGregor has stolen a student driving vehicle that he filled with coconuts. That's not even a I'm not just making that up. That's really a fucking, there's coconuts in the car. Then he purposely crashes it into a tree at the bad guy's crib, and he just wanted to hang out, but like nobody's there, and he's like, where the fuck's everybody at? Because they're all on the yacht about to fight Jake Gyllenhaal. So on the bad guy's yacht, the movie's bad guy and the corrupt cop Desperado bad guy are like, let's talk to Dalton some more instead of fucking killing him like we've been trying to do this entire time. And fucking Jake Gyllenhaal's like, surprise, I brought plastic explosives with me because I'm a UFC fighter. So he fucking sets them off even though he's on the boat, and so is the doctor who's attracted to him that he hasn't located yet and has no idea where she is on the yacht. Like she could be fucking inches from the explosion. Then real life Conor McGregor sees people doing crazy shit without him and immediately takes a small boat to the now sinking yacht. Roadhouse punches a fucking burn victim. Then he helps the doctor who's attracted to him escape into the open ocean where they're both swimming until Conor kills a guy with a boat. The doctor gets on another boat with the bad guy who's like, I'm gonna destroy the roadhouse myself because every stupid thing I've tried before hasn't worked because I'm a fucking stupid motherfucker. And then Dalton jumps on real life Conor's boat and they have a fucking boat fight and Conor gets thrown off and dragged while Jake Gyllenhaal goes to play boat chicken with the bad guy. Then Dalton breaks every known law of physics and jumps onto the bad guy's boat after they collide while Conor gets thrown out to sea and fucking, you know, I guess is dead. More boat fighting. The bad guy crashes into the roadhouse with such force that he's fucking thrown into the air. That's him right there. He's on the fucking, he's that little, the thing I circled. Yeah, he doesn't fucking die from that. Everybody else had jumped off the boat already, but it wouldn't have fucking mattered because death is an illusion in this movie, which is why it fucking turns out real life Conor McGregor survived too. And he fucking steals some guy's truck. And then Jake Gyllenhaal goes to check the bad guy's corpse because nobody could survive that shit. But he fucking survived, so Dalton's about to kill him when real life Conor McGregor drives a stolen truck into the building and hits Patrick Swayze with it, but he's totally fine because everyone's immortal. So then Dalton and real life Conor have their big final fight and they kick the fucking shit out of each other all over the roadhouse. And Conor almost gets subbed like my brother did, Stock 209 what? The real life Conor escapes and breaks the bad guy's neck for no reason at all, other than that he's fucking Conor McGregor. Then fucking Jake Gyllenhaal kills Conor McGregor by driving stakes into him because you can only fucking kill Conor with steaks or garlic or holy water. And then, yeah, the fucking roadhouse is saved, so Dalton gets on a bus to go be homeless somewhere else, but he leaves all the money he stole from the bad guy for the bookstore owner and his daughter who didn't actually die in the fire because fucking everybody is immortal. Nobody fucking gets killed by anything. And yeah, that's fucking Roadhouse 2024. So now it's time to decide if this is a hitter or fucking wolf tickets. And yeah, you know, they got some fucking good shit in, and you know, there's some stupid shit, but fucking Conor is insane, and you know, them just filming him doing stuff in his life really fucking fit the movie well. And you know, there's fucking people punching each other and shit, and there's a lot of stuff from the 80s version that they try to fucking, you know, keep, and they try to do that 80s action hitter movie shit. So yeah, I mean, it's not gonna fucking, you know, change your life and shit. You're gonna go try fucking bouncing or some shit, but it's not fucking wolf tickets, so you know, it has to be a hitter because those are the only two ratings I have. So yeah, Roadhouse 2024 is a hitter. Go watch that shit with your homies and fucking turn your brain off for 2 hours, you know, while people fucking get the shit fucked up. All right, that's it. See you motherfuckers. Let me know, you know, let me know what hitters you want me to review next. Stop doing that. Whoa!